On my catering menu, I have a delicious duck croquette canapé. And usually I would do it with confit of duck, but that takes a lot of time to do. So I'm going to cut a little corner here and I'm going to already use some slow cooked duck. So we need to preheat this in the oven, warm it up so the meat shreds off the bone. So I'm just going to get a tray here. I'm not going to grease it at all. I've preheated my oven to 180 degrees and we're going to heat this up until it's really warm and the meat falls off the bone. So we'll just take out the sauce there and that goes in, and we do need to cool it down before we start to shred it, so get this on first up. This is also a fantastic recipe if you've had a roast duck dinner and you've got leftover meat. You can actually shred the meat and add some flavourings to it so nothing goes to waste. So I said I'm going to be serving this with a yuzu mayonnaise. If you don't know what yuzu is, well, it's a citrus fruit and the smell is like no other. It's a combination of sour mandarin, grapefruit and lemon, and you can get this from really good Japanese or Asian grocers. This is such a wonderful product to use, and if you can't find it, of course, you could use some lemon juice instead. Now I'm going to break the egg, so I need 2 egg yolks here and they go into the bowl. Just get that last yolk out. We don't want any of the egg white in there. With a little bit of mustard. This is not essential, but I do like the flavour of that. And with a whisk, I'm going to start mixing that together and then slowly adding the oil. So drizzle the oil in a little bit at a time, whisk, and then continually add. And as soon as it starts to thicken up, you can start to pour a little bit more oil in. Now that this mayonnaise has emulsified, you can see it there. I've just let it sit there for a little bit while I finish cooking the duck, and now we can add the yuzu. So I'm going to start with 1 tablespoon, roughly around 1 tablespoon. Mix it in, have a taste of it. So I'll just taste it with a little spoon here. Oh, that is such a delicious thing. I'm going to add a little bit more because I love it that much. And now that mayonnaise can be put into the fridge, or you can just leave it on the bench until you're ready to use it. So we'll put it over here. Now onto the croquette. So this is cooled down. I'll take it out of the tray and we just want to remove the meat. Now the fat is going to help bind the whole croquette together. We want it to be a sticky mixture. I'll cut the other one. So just an L-shaped cut, big piece of meat there. You can see how meaty this is, and you'll only need 2. And now with your knife, just run through it quite roughly. And just in a small food processor here, we're going to add the duck and some extra flavourings and some binding agents. So in with the duck, some garlic chives, about half of this bunch into our croquette mix. We'll gather that up. In it goes. And I want some extra spices in here, a hint of chilli, so just a small pinch. That's plenty. And some 5 spices. Now 5 spices work so well with duck, so a good teaspoon of that. And some hoisin sauce. Now this also is going to help make this a sticky mixture, but also for the flavour. I'm looking for some sweetness. A little bit of that in there, about a tablespoon to start with. And now I'm going to start pulsing this until this meat starts to shred. I've got an egg white on standby from the mayonnaise. It's just here, and I may add just a little bit in case the mixture is not wet enough. Okay, let's have a look. So this is looking good now. You can see that's slightly sticky. So we can form the croquettes, but I will add a very small amount of this egg white. So just, I'd say about a teaspoon will work perfectly. And then we'll blitz again until it's shredded just a little bit more. Now that the mix is ready, we can start forming balls. So just in your hands, about that size, and you can see that that's sticking really nicely. Now we need to crumb these, so just in a few bowls we're going to crack some eggs. So 2 eggs, in one. You want to start almost like a production line here. Eggs in one bowl, flour in another, and also some breadcrumbs to finish it off. So 2 eggs, we'll give that a whisk, and all of that remaining egg white can go in there so nothing is wasted. So whisk that up. Wonderful. So that's one. Also some flour in another bowl, and then lining them up, breadcrumbs. So now we grab our duck ball, we put it into the flour, lightly coat it, dust the excess flour off, into the egg mixture, coating that all over, and now into the breadcrumbs. So I'm going to continue this, and then I'm going to fry it in some vegetable oil until they're golden brown. Now that these are golden brown, I'll remove them from the oil there and just drain it on some paper toweling so we can get rid of that excess fat there. To serve this, you can put this on a big plate with the mayonnaise, or just to freshen the whole thing up and for a little bit of crunch, some cucumber. And I'm going to use the cucumber as the base for this canapé. So we want thick rounds that are all the same size, and then place them on your presentation plate. Then these croquettes can go on top, and you can see the size, they just fit perfectly here for one morsel per person. The yuzu mayonnaise, we're just gonna dollop a little bit of that on top. If you want a little bit more spice, just a small amount of chili, just the smallest amount so it's not going to overpower. But look at the colour, as soon as that hits the mayonnaise, it just stains it. It's just gorgeous. There you have it, my duck croquettes with yuzu mayonnaise.